Alright, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at identifying factual and theoretical contradictions, specifically in history. It's going to be important when your sources don't align and when you have kind of differing ideals or ideas in the information, and sometimes it's just super easy and factual stuff. We're going to go back and take a look at a little bit, at least, based on this, based on our Venn diagrams, and this is not a footstep to the Boolean logic, but hopefully you're seeing some overlap here. No pun intended. Alright, so moving forward, first thing is contrary. What contrary is, and I bolded the definitions that I like, or the aspects of the definitions I like. So I say, this is a proposition so related to another that though they both may be false, they cannot both be true. It's a good logical definition of contrary. And so when you look at that, you say things like, well, his speech was given in 1095. Somebody else says, well, his speech was given in 1096. And you're like, wait, hold on. Was the speech even given? Or was that like 1092? So if one source is saying one thing of 1095 and another source is saying another thing of 1096, they can't both be true at the same time, but they can be both false at the same time. So the next one is contradictory, which is more of a logical based puzzle. In terms of how we use them colloquially or just in everyday language, they're kind of the same, but they're not. Logic is a proposition so related to a second that it is impossible for them to both be true or for them to both be false. So it either happened or it didn't. So when you say something like, well, it's contradictory to say that, well, the Pope gave that speech. And you're like, well, either he did or he didn't. It's almost like saying that, I'm a teacher. Either I am or I am not. There's really not a whole lot of room in between there. So, contrary, you can have both claims be false. Contradictory, not so much. But that's more just for the logical purpose. So, the contradictions that we're looking for, all I want to say about that is that they both work. Where I'm looking for contradictions, I'm not necessarily looking for contrary versus contradictory. I'm just looking for differences in sources, and that pretty much is what everybody in history is looking for. So we get to factual and theoretical. So facts, the ones that I liked about this is, a fact is a piece of information presented as having objective reality. Science loves facts. Well, a lot of people love facts. Some people don't. Or a thing done. So a fact, we're just going to take it as, things like dates and locations and times and numbers of people and specific people and just nouns. Okay. We have theories. So the theories that I kind of pulled out here was, a belief, policy, procedure proposed or followed as the basis of action, or an unproven assumption. And I like the first one of these. I pulled it a little bit better, because this kind of gets into a lot of the stuff that we're looking into this year in terms of, justifications for things, reasons for things. It's the basis for action. Like, how do we know it's the basis for action? And it's a good place to call out kind of hypocrisy or even differing assumptions about, the plausibility of success or failure or the reasons or justifications. So to do a little quick exercise here, take a look and give it a shot. Try to identify factual and theoretical contradictions. You can pause the video. Okay. So get back into this. This is what I pulled out. So in 1095, the first piece here said 1095 Pope Urban gave a speech to a group of Frankish warriors that incited them to go on a crusade. That sounds good. But below that we said 1096 Pope Urban addressed a group of bishops and nobles. The Council of Clermont gave justifications for returning the Holy Land to Christian rule. So we got some factual. We get 1096 versus 1095. We have Pope Urban II versus Pope Urban, and those are different people. And then we have a group of Frankish warriors, and then a group of bishops and nobles. We know about the nobility being the warrior class, but one is factually very different. Then for theoretical, so Pope Urban convinced that, God gave the Frankish warriors such great power and strength of his arms to do that bidding. They were so good. They were so awesome. Whereas the second passage here, Pope Urban was convinced the Frankish warriors were not living Christian values. They needed to go fight elsewhere. And you're going to see both in these sources. So, once again, factual and theoretical contradictions. That's what we're identifying, what we're attempting to identify. And good luck.